Hi guys, welcome to Does Nothing Gaming. I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew.
Today we're going to be running through some Pathfinders, which is this game right here.
It's the Pathfinder adventure card game. There's also 2 new versions out, but we're starting on Rise of the Rune Lords. We've played through the basic scenario that comes with the box, so today we're starting Burnt Offerings.
Yeah, we left the turkey in the dinner, or in the oven for too long.
We're only playing 2 players, so it's 1 character each. My name is Harsk.
I'm Lini. I'm Lini. I'm the druid.
And I'm a dwarven ranger, so I am the, what's the guy from Lord of the Rings? Aragorn. I'm a dwarven Aragorn, so that'll be fun. Yeah. Really looking forward to it. I think we're actually going to make this a series, so watch and subscribe until we finish through the entire scenario.
Yeah. I've never played this game before. I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely RPG. You can really tell a good story when you're building your characters. A lot of exploration. If you're playing it the way we're playing it, in which we kind of go through the decks to see what we're losing out on, it really drills home the fact that you got to make sacrifices, and sometimes they're hard choices. So it's definitely an impactful game. We kind of played through the first chapter to get some of the rules right. We played some stuff wrong, but I think we've got a pretty good handle on it now, so let us know what you think.
Okay.
Alright, so turn 1. Let's flip over the blessing card. That counts, well, let's call it days. We have 30 days to beat this.
Alright, so I'm Harsk. I'm starting in this village house. I was hoping to find a nice pub, but instead I found a guard to talk to. Now this guard's an ally, so I can attempt to acquire him with either a charisma and diplomacy check, or a constitution or fortitude check.
Or you can recharge a card to automatically acquire it.
Ah, good point.
So each location has a different event that you can trigger. It's at the top here. It will say at this location. As an example, the location I'm at, if I fail a roll, I have to discard, let me see, if I fail a check, I have to discard the top card of my deck. And in this game, my deck is my health, so if I keep discarding cards, I'm actually getting closer and closer to dying.
So to recharge a card, you take a card from your hand and put it on the bottom of your deck, so I've automatically acquired him. I'm going to spend a blessing of the gods to explore again, and I find a sleep spell with an intelligence or arcane check. Well, thankfully my intelligence is 6, so that's a crit. I will acquire that.
Automatically acquire a spell.
Yeah, I am going to, my hand size is 5, so I'm actually going to end my turn. Flip over the top card of the deck.
So it's my turn now.
Lini's turn.
Lini's turn. I'm starting off in the Glassworks. I walk in to find myself in a sanctuary spell, just lying around on the floor. So I'm going to need to do a divine roll of 6.
It's probably on this enchanted jar that you see in the window. But it's in magical rune, so that's only you can read it.
I'm not going to need those dice. Okay, so I have to roll, where am I? Here I am. I need to roll against a wisdom or a divine. My divine is a +1 automatically. So I'm going to go roll it on divine to get a 10.
Yeah,
nice, perfect 10.
To roll in here.
Oops, my bad. So I'm just going to automatically acquire that card, because I very much succeeded that roll with a 12. And before I do anything else, I'm going to use Detect Magic. So I may discard this card to examine the top card of my location. If the card is a blessing or has the magic trait, I immediately acquire it. Or encounter it, sorry. Otherwise, I put it back on the top. So it's a monster, so I'm just going to cover that back up. So I have the options now. Oops, sorry, before I do anything else, I can roll to recharge this. I roll on my divine skill, so I need to roll. Let me see if I can add to this roll. Yep, I'm going to just reveal my ally using one of my specials to add.
One of its powers.
One of my powers, sorry. I'm going to add an animal to add a 1d4 to my roll to recharge this card. And I rolled a 7.
Yep. And
it needed a roll of 4. So I get to recharge this card. And that's where I'm going to end my turn.
Okay.
4, 5. And I still have 5 cards in my hand.
So we know now that one of the henchmen is in this deck. Before I do anything, should I move over here and fight him? There's only 3 monsters, 1 weapon, and some allies in here.
Yeah, I already got my spell, so I'm not too worried about that deck. Okay. So if you want to come on over and introduce that henchman to the other side, that'd be great.
So I'm going to move to the glassworks. I heard Lini shouting for Harsk, and explore to find a wrathful sin spawn. Wrathful sin spawn is an aberration. It says before the encounter, succeed at a wisdom 6 check. Or the difficulty of my checks is increased by 1 for the rest of the turn. So this is my wisdom check. For me, a wisdom is a d6. Unfortunately, it's not like a perception or anything, so I have to make this perfect.
Can you beat this? I can give us the option to move it to another turn.
What do you mean?
If it's a divine check, right?
No, it's a wisdom check.
It's a wisdom. So why don't you let me fight it on my turn?
Because I can't.
I've
encountered this.
I have sanctuary.
I could use sleep to put it to sleep and evade it, but then we just shuffle them around. That's okay. Because the worst that happens is he goes up to a 10, and then I have to discard
the top card.
The top card of my deck. So maybe I should burn my. No, I want to keep that for the.
Let me burn sanctuary. It was a free card anyway.
No.
Okay.
Got another 6. So I am smart.
So you just failed.
Yeah. No, I passed it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was a wisdom 6 check. So I am going to pull out my returning throwing axe again. It came in well last time. That will give me 2d8. I'm going to. How did I? Did I add it? Oh wait, that was the last game. Okay, I'm gonna add a d6 to recharge it. So I'm just gonna keep this out and then recharge it after. And then I'm going to play my Blessing of Saren Ray, and she's going to give me another d8. So that will give me 3 d8 and a d6 plus 1, plus my range dexterity bonus of 3, and an additional 1 from a power up. So it's whatever this is plus 4. And he is absolutely obliterated with a 7, 15, 22, 24, 26, destroying him.
A little epically destroying him.
Just that sin spawn, my axe just like went through at his waist and came back through his head, like decapitating him and chopping him in half. This goes into my recharge. And now I'm going to attempt to close this location by succeeding at a wisdom or a perception check. So I'm going to use this newly acquired guard to add a 1d6 to my perception check. My perception is a d6 as well. So I get another d6 plus 2. So, let's see, can I close it?
I need to be the 6, that's not
Oh
bad.
yeah, we close this down. So the
Yay!
glassworks is closed down. Now what that means is that we get rid of all these cards in this deck, and then if we fight the villain of this scenario, he can't try and escape there. So, to see what we lost out on, a trapped locker, which would have been okay, a mercenary, a specter, a standard bearer, Zulgath, which doesn't look like very much fun to fight, a long sword, which neither of us could use, a potion of ghostly form, and unfortunately for Dan, a snake.
Oh, my ally! I actually wanted that ally.
So, as I'm doing this, Dan, you can take your turn.
Alright, so I'm gonna move Lini from that location to a location with some allies, because...
Oh, don't forget to flip this.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So we're going to flip my blessing of the deck. So the blessings work in interesting ways. You can either burn one to add a dice. Some of them have different things that let you add more dice on particular traits or checks. These ones at the top here are also an option. So if I burned a blessing, I could use this blessing instead of the one that I'm burning. At least the blessing of the gods. However, I am Lini, I am in the village house, so I'm going to go ahead and flip over to get a grizzled mercenary.
Cool.
Buy this card.
So this guy was hanging out at the bar.
Oh, bury this card, yeah. So I walk in and this mercenary walks up and go, hey, I heard you need some help. And it is a charisma or diplomacy, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to just recharge a card to automatically acquire him. So I'm going to
Nice.
recharge my Sage
Nice.
to just automatically acquire him.
Awesome.
Yay. And then, let me see, can I go another turn? Yeah. So, I'm going to discard this card, but because I'm the druid, I can recharge any allies with an animal. So I'm just going to bury it instead, or sorry, recharge it because that's my other skill. So I can, yeah, so instead of discarding it, I can recharge it. So that means I'm going to explore again. And get ambushed. Should have paid more attention to where I was walking.
I think the grizzled mercenary walked away, and there was these guys in the corner watching you.
Yeah.
And they'd heard about our exploits already.
Or he was there to distract me while these guys were setting up. So I need to beat either a wisdom, perception, dexterity, or acrobats.
And its difficulty is increased by 1 because we're on Adventure Pack 1.
Yeah. So he's a 9 now, so I need to beat a 9. On a wisdom? On a wisdom. Good knowledge check.
Unfortunately, I have nothing to help you.
And that's a combat check. That's a sanctuary. So, oh wait, I have a natural 10. So, I'm going to go off my natural wisdom, or sorry, my wisdom. And then I'm going to burn a blessing of the gods to get another d10, because that's my wisdom.
Give you your other D10, eh?
Oh yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to roll, I have a 1 in 2 chance of getting this.
15?
12? Plus
12.
1. So I got a 13, which means I beat this ambush. And upon defeating it, I can immediately explore again.
So how did you beat that ambush, Dan?
How did I beat that ambush?
Yeah, give me some flavor text here.
You know, flip this back over so we know when I'm done here. If you want. So basically, I rolled. And I thought to myself, and I rolled out of the way of the ambush. Just in time, and I sat there and I'm like, you know what, guys? Maybe it's time y'all just went home and rethought your things. And then they took a look at the mercenary guy standing behind me and they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. At which point I then decide to take another look around the area and run into Irelium.
Irelium. So this is actually the villain of the game, of this scenario. So Dan's going to be fighting the villain. She has a combat.
A combat
check
of
to defeat
14.
a combat of 14 or arcane of 10. Before the encounter, choose a character at your location to summon and encounter a wrathful Sinspawn henchman. So, guess what you have to do? You have to fight this person first.
What? Monster.
Oh, and when after a character encounters a wrathful, roll a 1d6, which we didn't do earlier. So I'm going to do that now for my thing, and I actually do have to discard the top card of the Blessings deck.
Right, so now I have to roll this
Burning that down there.
and roll a 4.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that after the encounter.
After the encounter?
Yeah.
After a character encounters.
But now you have to do this before the encounter.
Oh god, I can't beat both of them. I don't have enough cards in my hand. I am going to discard my Tome of Knowledge and transform into an animal to give me a d10 for my combat check.
Now I can use my power to recharge a card. So I'm going to recharge this. And that will give Dan a d4. You can add your own d4.
Yay! So basically you just, hey! And then I'm going
I
to...
can see through the window and
I'm also going to bury my Grizzled Mercenary to add a 1d8.
Did you complete this before the wisdom check yet?
Before the wisdom check?
Before your encounters check, you have to see a wisdom check where he's increased by 1.
Oh, I didn't do that. So I'm going to roll this as my wisdom check.
It's a
It's a d10, right?
Yep.
So I rolled a 9 plus
okay,
1.
so he's still only a 9.
Okay, so that's what I have. Oh, and I need to get my d8. So I buried my mercenary to give myself an extra d8. So this is for the Wrathful Sinspawn. So I roll...
7.
That's a 1.
Yeah,
That's the 7.
you have 7 in total.
So 4,
7?
6, 7. Yep. So I rolled a 7 in total, not enough to beat this guy. That sucks. So he beat
no
me.
bonuses?
That is with my bonus.
Oh. Alright, so you
So
take 2
I'm at
points
8.
of damage. So,
And that automatically ends my turn. So 1, 2,
although I think she had something else that we should have done. But anyway.
What do you mean?
Doesn't matter. Okay.
So now I do this, right? Oh no, I did that at the start.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm moving over to the Catacombs of Wrath because we kind of know what's in the village house. Exploring to find. Oh man.
A collapsing roof. The second you walk in.
Yeah, the friggin' ceiling starts to crumble in on me. So it's actually increased by 1. So it's either a dexterity, acrobatics, constitution, or fortitude check of 9. If I fail to defeat it by 4 or more, I am dealt 1 combat damage. So at least I have a dexterity. I get dexterity. What's my dexterity? So my dexterity is a D8.
How many cards are in your discard pile?
3.
Okay.
So I'm also going to pull out my crowbar, which says to reveal this to add 1 die to my non-combat strength check, which I'm not doing, or check to defeat a barrier with either the lock or obstacle trait, and this does have that. So I'm going to get 2d8 in order to overcome this. And I beat it by 12, it's 9, so unfortunately I will take 1 combat damage from it. And because this was only revealed, I'll get rid of my crowbar. But I do beat that.
Since this was only revealed?
Yeah, because I took 1 damage. So I didn't have to, it was in my hand, discard it.
Oh,
I
okay.
am then, now I'm going to explore again using my crow and find a giant gecko. So I'm immediately going to reveal my shock, I'm going to pull out my shock longbow, which is my dexterity or range die plus 1d8, discard to unmodified with electricity, no. So it's just going to be 2d8 against an 8, plus 5 there, so he's beaten.
With an 11.
Yeah, so I just pierced that thing right through its heart, sniped it.
What's up, Gecko?
Yeah, 11 plus 1 is 12, plus my 4 is...
Oh god, I forgot about your plus 4.
And then to end my turn, I'm going to use my power to look at the top card of the deck. And that's going to be the end of my turn. Do not come here.
Okay. So, first things first. I'm going to cast Cure on you. So, whenever I reveal this card... Reveal this card?
Yeah.
At your location.
Oh, I'm not at your location.
Yeah, we should have been reading that more carefully.
I would move, you should move to the Shrine of Lamashti.
Okay,
We
so...
know the villain's here.
I know. So, I'm going to cast Augury.
Okay.
So, let's discard this card to choose a type of card and examine the top 3 cards of your location. If there are any cards of the chosen type, set them aside. Return the remaining cards to the deck, shuffle it, and then put the cards you set aside in any order on top of the deck or on the bottom. So, 1, 2...
Wait, before you look, you should have picked a type of card.
You're right, I was going to say ally.
Okay. No allies?
No allies, but you might want the top card of this deck. So now I need to finish this thing.
But you haven't explored yet. So you have to move, and then you have to do an exploration.
Okay. Succeed at an arcane or divine, so I'm going to use my wisdom check here. So roll a 1,
Nice.
so I fail.
Yeah.
Miserably. So I still need to explore?
Yeah. Or move.
Oh yeah, I can still move now, eh? So I'm going to move to where you are.
No.
I'm going to cast Cure.
Okay.
I know what's coming up.
Hopefully you have something that's... Ooh, 4.
4 is plus 1.
Plus 1?
Plus 1.
Oh, so I get all my cards back.
From his discard pile, then discard this card. Oh, so it's at your location. So I have to be next to you. So I need to do this whole roll thing to see if I get to keep my card again. 7 plus 2. So you go to the bottom. And now I'm going to do the same thing for me. Cure myself. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I get to choose 2 random cards. I'm going to take a middle 2, I guess. And I still have to explore, right?
Yeah, I really wish you hadn't explored.
Henchman?
Yep.
That's okay. And do my wisdom check again, see if I get to keep this card. Divine +1. Yep, so I get this card again. And I guess now I'll explore. Oh no, the Wrathful Hellspawn.
So you have to succeed at a Wisdom 6 check. That's your first thing.
So wisdom 7 + 2.
Okay, so you succeeded with that.
Yeah.
Now it's a combat of 9.
Combat of 9. So I need to have these strength. Okay, well I have 2 more, so I'm gonna combat of 10 or strength of 10. I'm gonna burn my other blessings of the gods to give myself another D10.
And I'll burn a blessing to give you another D10.
So I have 30 against a 9, of which I wreck. So I rolled a 35?
Yep, and now...
25, sorry.
And, yep, so now you have to roll a D6.
A D6. Roll a 3.
And then are you going to attempt to close this location, which means you have to fight him again? I would suggest if you can, we do it.
I have no more cards left in my hand. I should have thought that one through more better. My bad.
Told you not to come there. So you can't make that check then. Fudge.
Which check?
Alright, so I'm going to leave you in the Catacombs of Wrath. Oh, did we forget to put that for your turn?
No. Maybe. That's
Um,
there's the hand I wanted.
so you said I wanted this card, Thieves' Tools, Dexterity and Disable, so I'm just going to do a Dexterity check. For me that's D8, that's a 7.
So you get it.
Yep. And then, do I have to...
You don't want to stay there for more than 2 turns, or more than the end.
I know the gods, I know the bad guys in there.
Yeah, there's, well, the main bad guy's in there.
And then, no, there's only the main bad. Oh, then there's monsters.
So there's a
I'm
monster.
not worried about that.
Well, the next one is a melee weapon. Or am I not allowed to say that stuff?
Alright, I'm gonna burn a blessing of the gods to explore again. Strength and melee. My strength is only a D6, so no matter what I do, I can't get it, so I have no use for a scimitar anyways.
Alright.
And then I'm going to finish my turn to draw back up to 5 cards. Perfect, and then Dan's turn. So, now that you've kind of screwed us here,
Yeah. What's
we
more
need to start.
important?
Well, you need
Closing
to burn,
here or burn this deck?
if you can, close here. This one's going to do the most damage.
Okay, and I need to do divine stuff here, so I'll move there. And then I guess I'll explore and get a spell. Yay, that spell I got rid of. Okay, so at the start of my turn, so basically I walked over to the shrine and the first thing I
I'm just
do...
going to look at this because I should know from my last turn.
Yeah.
I was just using my power to examine the top card of the location deck.
Okay. So, I'm going to search for the strength spell. It is a divine. So, I'm going to reveal my dog to add a 1d4. I'm going to reveal my ally to add a 1d4.
You really want this spell that bad?
I'm going to reveal this card to add a 1d4. Oh, that's a henchman or a villain. Never mind. So I'll have those, and then my wisdom of 10. I don't want it this bad, I just want to make sure I can wreck this spell.
At least it's just revealed, right?
Yeah, it's a reveal.
Okay, got it.
So 3, 5, 15. And since those are just reveals, they go back to my hand. That goes there. Well, see, the upside to me doing that is now I can be like, I'm going to... Oh, yeah, I can't just discard this to search this, just the blessings. Well...
Does your dog not let you discard to explore?
They do, but I don't want to discard... Well, I bury them. So I'll recharge a dog to explore again. and find a henchman. Alright, so that's a combat roll, isn't it?
I'm going to, I'm going to do to recharge a card to give you a D4.
Yay!
Because it says I can recharge a card to add a 1D4 to a combat check at another location. So that's what I've done.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Strength on myself to give me +3.
Okay.
So that's just a base +3, and I need to beat... Okay, so I'll roll to see if I recharge it after. Going to reveal my dog to add a D4. Going to reveal my Sage's Journal, which is a henchman this time, to add another D4. And... do I want to discard a card to increase my strength to 10? No, I think I've got it with what I got here.
What do you have?
So he's a 10, right?
Yeah.
So I got +3.
Well, he's 9.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's second chapter, isn't it?
Doesn't say that though.
Oh, okay. So I need to do some quick math. So even if I roll ones on all these dice, it's like...
Okay, so how are you doing this?
Oops.
How are you getting this?
I need another D4.
You just have to roll another 4 again.
Alright.
D4 again.
So even if I roll, my minimum roll is a 7. So 3 strength
Okay.
plus 4 D4s. So
So
if
you
I
can
roll
still fail
ones, I can still win it as long as I don't roll pure ones. So I'm going to roll these 3 for 3, 6, 9, 12, plus my extra 1 is a 4.
16.
So I absolutely wrecked this poor guy.
Okay, so that kills Corvus. Now I would highly suggest that you try and close the location.
Okay, so I need to do the thing to see if I recharge this first, which I do.
Okay.
And now I need to beat the divine roll to close this location. Which is where all this stuff comes into play.
So you beat a nasty looking Corvus. He's got like a burning sword, a dagger, and he's got 3 arms.
Yeah.
This way. Anyways.
Yeah. I punched him so hard that it just knocks him right out. So I'm going to recharge this card. So to close this, I need to succeed at a divine or banish a blessing. Instead of banishing a blessing, because I don't have any in my hand, I'm going to recharge this card to add a 1d6. I get a base wisdom roll of 10. And then I'm going to add my ally to get another d4. Oops. So 6,
12.
10, 12. So I close this.
Yep.
I get to put these, and this goes to the bottom of my deck.
So we've closed the Shrine to Lamastu, that evil goddess.
Boo!
Oh, we lost out on a secret stash.
Boo!
But we don't have to fight an ogre. My favorite card. This is one barrier I don't mind. A hill giant.
Ugh.
And then the next 2 turns would have been 2 automatic damage. Blessings. So it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
No.
There's nothing good left in there.
That was a good turn.
Okay, so flipping the turn deck.
Did I just do all that in one turn?
Yeah.
I walked home to that place.
What did I see that was there? Okay.
Ugh. Zombie.
Yeah.
Now you need to decide if you want to move or...
No, I'm going to keep going in here. So it's a combat. The plague zombie is immune to mental and poison traits if undefeated. Banish the plague zombie, and each character at this location must succeed at a Constitution or Fortitude 6 check or be dealt 1d. Oh, that's no problem for me. Pulling out my long. I see this plague zombie shuffling towards me. I pull out my longbow. This is going to give me. So I think I'm just going to go with my 2d8s. Again, it's still an 11. So that's 7 plus 1 is an 8, plus my range dexterity bonus of 3 plus 1. So that's 4, 5, 10, 12. So I take it, I launch it, and I just barely stick it through its plague-ridden brain and drop it.
As it falls to the ground, lifeless again. Hopefully this time for good.
And then That was just a reveal, so that goes back in my hands. I'm going to use my crow to explore again and find a troubadour. Charisma, diplomacy, or dexterity, acrobatics. So this guy, this guy saw what I did and goes, "You aren't very dexterous. You're just a dwarf." And I'm like, "Yeah, check out my D8 dexterity." Oh, acquired. Haha. I am going to end my turn there, but before I do, I'm going to look at the top card. Okay.
So we know what the last 2 cards in that deck are.
Yes. So let me refill my hand. I am going to...
You need one.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just going to discard my Thieves' Tools and the Troubadour to gain 3 cards.
Oh, you can just discard cards?
If you don't like it, you can get rid of
I
it.
didn't know that.
Now it's going to be Dan's turn. I highly suggest you come here so that you can summon and defeat a Wrathful Spawn henchman in the event that we need to do that.
So, I'm going to move to the Catacombs of Wrath yet again. And before I do anything, I'm going to use my Detect Magic spell. What I miss?
Nothing. I was just reading.
Okay, so... Oh, was there any closing things for this? On closing, you may banish a blessing to draw a random blessing from... No, I don't have any blessings to draw. Alright, so... I detect magic. I detect a warlord is very interested in talking to me.
Well, you are in the Catacombs of Wrath, so
Yeah, I figured it.
seems pretty appropriate that you'd find a warlord.
Yeah, so I immediately return it to the top of the deck. I know what's coming up now. And I need to see if I get to keep this card. So I'm going to reveal an ally to add a d4 to my hand, or to my roll. And I roll a 6 plus 2, which is an 8. This is the 4 one, right?
I think so.
Okay, so...
I can't imagine you need a 14.
Well, it's not a very great card, but... Anyways, so that's that. So I know I'm fighting a warlord, and I have to explore anyway, so... Greetings, warlord! So he is a base combat 9 plus 1 because of the scenario. Subtract 1 from each die roll in your check to defeat the warlord. So I need to roll at least a 10, and I'm subtracting 1 per dice rolled, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to burn, I'm going to recharge that card to add a d4 to your roll.
Thank you. This is not a henchman, eh? It's just a monster. I'm going to discard this to give myself a combat check of 10. Reveal my ally to add another d4. And I'm going to discard a Blessings of the Gods to add another d10. And keep 2 cards in my hand. Can't believe I got that. So I rolled an 8, 10, 14, minus 4.
So 10.
So 10, so I just beat him.
Do you have no basic, you have no bonuses?
Not on strength. So I just barely beat him.
Yeah, the warlords are pains in the butt. Are you going to end your turn?
I'm going to end my turn here.
Okay. So I'm going to start here.
Oh.
And because this is a Blessing of the Gods, it says if I encounter this card, I automatically acquire it, which is good. And we know what the next card is here, so I need to discard a card to explore. So I am going to burn a Blessing of the Gods to explore and find the villain. So, in this case, I need Lini to try and temporarily close this location so that Aurelium has nothing to run away to, and to do that, she has to fight a Wrathful Sin Spawn.
Doesn't she also summon a Wrathful Sin
Just,
Spawn?
can you do this first, please?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close my location with the Wrathful Sin Spawn Aberration.
You have to first succeed at that wisdom check.
Alright, so first things first, my wisdom check. I roll a 2 plus 2.
So it's
6.
it's a 10. You have to be 10 now.
Okay, that's okay, I think I got that. I'm going to cast Holy Light. For your combat check, and this is a henchman. So for my combat check, discard this card to roll your divine dice. So I got a d10 plus 2d6 because of the spell. If the check is against a Bane with the undead trait instead rolled up, don't have that. But I will also reveal my lore to give me a d4 because it's against a henchman. And, like every other turn, reveal my dog to add another d4. I have a couple of dice to roll here. So I roll a 1, a 2, an 8, a 9, a 10, plus 2. Oh, wait, no, it's combat, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's a 10, so I roll a 10.
So you just barely beat him and close.
Oh, weak holy light.
So that's temporarily closed. So
Yeah.
Dan's holding off that. But what I need to do now is, and now you have to roll a 1d6.
On
Okay.
a 4.
So we're okay.
Alright.
So now I have to encounter a Wrathful Sin Spawn.
Alright, so before you do that, I'm just going to check the recharge. 6 plus 2 is an 8, so I actually get to recharge this instead of discard it.
Wisdom check for me. I don't have a d12, I can't use a d12. Wisdom check for me is a d6. So I need to crit this in order to make him.
Nice.
Okay, so my wisdom. Okay,
So he's now
he's a 10,
Right.
and then I'm gonna fight him. So he's a 10, so I'm gonna actually use my allying darts on this guy, and that's going to give me a d8, a d4, and then I'm going to discard it to add another d4. And hopefully that's enough to beat this 10, because I do get a +4, +5 bonus to whatever I roll. So 1, 3, 5, +1 is 6, plus my range dexterity is +3, +1 is 10. So again, just barely beating this Wrathful Sin Spawn. Now I've got to roll my d6 to see if I get a 1. I do not, so the Wrathful Sin Spawn is gone. So I use a dart and put it into the neck of the Wrathful Sin Spawn, dropping him. And then Aurelium screams at me, "Ah, you must die! Ooh, a trespasser impressed me with your groveling, and maybe I'll leave you with one of your eyes. I grovel to no one." I reveal my shock longbow to give me 2d8. I will also discard this card to add my unmodified strength, which is a d6. And then I will add a blessing of the gods to add another d8. And I believe that's all the stuff.
That's all the tricks you can pull?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So 3d8 and a d6. So I am pulling back on my longbow as hard as I can, just aiming, saying, "I kneel to no one, especially not an ugly demon like you." 8, 15, 25.
25.
Boom! Killing Aurelium, and finishing this scenario with another awesome shot, courtesy of Harsk.
Yeah, seriously. Harsk's doing all the hard work. I'm just kind of going, spells?
So that's the end of the scenario. We have a little bit of work to do in terms of now we get to go through and rebuild our decks and build our characters. We also get to add a power feat for beating this scenario. So thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed.
Like and subscribe. We'll be doing more of these. So
Very soon. Bye.
bye.
See you there. Let's enjoy. Nope.
Nope. Let's enjoy.
Let's enjoy.
Come watch us.